step, please. What do you think other people would say makes Christianity different from other religions?
Just like people on the street?
Yeah.
I'm sure they would probably say, like, there's one God. Because I feel like their minds would go to, like, difference between Christianity and, like, Hinduism or something like that. So I think they would say, there's one God, and they would probably say Jesus. Probably say something about they believe in Jesus. You want more?
Oh, just whatever you think.
I think just like the average person on the street would be like, they believe in one God, and they believe in Jesus, that Jesus is God.
Okay.
That's what I think would be the probably.
Given what you know about Christianity, in what ways do you think Christianity is different from other religions?
I think it's grace-driven. It's driven by grace and love, I think. I think that's different than other religions. I don't really know, but I think it's different from other religions. And, I think it's right. I think it's I think having Jesus as the Savior of our life is God's plan for us, and I think other people may have just sort of missed the mark on what the plan was.
Okay.
I want to be able to talk.
No, that's fine. Thank you. What do you think that
You have to record the whole thing?
Yeah. It's okay.
Okay.
What do you think most people would say is the difference between Christianity and other religions?
With Christianity, there's only one God. That's one main difference. It's probably more personal. Everyone can kind of have a different, not different religion in a way, but a different relationship with God.
Cool. And given what you know about Christianity, what do you say is the difference between Christianity and other religions?
Kind of the same thing. Like, people can express it their own ways, and they all have different. It's not. You can kind of decipher the Bible in different ways or how it relates to you. I don't know, with different religions. There's a lot of different things to focus on, and with Christianity, there's just Jesus. So
Yeah.
and
Cool.
he actually does stuff. He did stuff for you for a reason instead of just it being there, it being legends.
Right.
Of people. So
Right.
yeah,
Cool. Thank you.
You already asked?
Sure.
Okay. I think it's hard to know what everyone believes exactly, like what we believe, but as far as our attitude toward things, I think other people might see Christianity as a lot more aggressive as far as spreading the word. A lot of times you think missionaries, you think Christian missionaries. You don't necessarily think missionaries of other religions. And also, as far as negative thoughts, people probably think that Christians are a lot more uptight and less tolerable and closed-minded and conservative, which not that a level of those things are bad, but it's just so many people see that as a negative thing and as an unloving thing. So that's probably, I think, at least what non-Christians think of.
Okay. And given what you know about Christianity, in what way do you think Christianity is different from other religions?
I think Christianity is different from other religions because not only is our God all-powerful and all-knowing and sits on the throne of the universe, he has the power to do whatever he wants, and he could just tell us what to do, but even though he has his guidelines and moral standards, he chose to come down and demonstrate that to us, and for us to get to know him and relate to him personally, rather than us seeing him up in the sky at an unattainable objective. He came down and got to know us, and we got to know him and got to share stories through that way. So.
What do you think other people would say makes Christianity different from other religions?
Which other people?
I don't know.
C.S. Lewis said grace. A lot of the people I know would say rules.
Can you explain that a little more?
In our community, a lot of times people associate Christians with legalism, and that's what they think of as a Christian. I
Okay.
don't know that they have much knowledge of other religions to compare to.
Yeah. And given what you know about Christianity, in what ways do you think Christianity is different from other religions?
Well, I trust C.S. Lewis on about everything, so I would say grace as well. And what little I've examined other religions, I think Christianity is the best acceptable option.
Okay. Anything else about that topic?
I wish I knew more about other religions. I mean, I would like to attend a synagogue sometime, and our community is very insulated. There aren't other religions. It's usually Christian or pagan, so I wish I could know other religions better.
What do you think other people would say makes Christianity different from other religions?
I think people would see Christianity as traditions, and I think it depends on who you're asking. Like, if you would ask an American, they would probably say following, celebrating Christmas, and they might not see it maybe as a lifestyle, but just following observances. Whereas, like, if you look at other religions like Hindu, they might think that it's much more encompassing of their lives and their following, or like Buddhists. So.
Cool. And given what you know about Christianity, in what ways do you think Christianity is different from other religions?
I think Christianity is different than other religions because I think a lot of religions focus on getting to God through works or by being a good person or following certain rules. But Christianity is different because God came to us, and while there are those rules and those observances, we can't be perfect, and so he made a way for us to get to him by coming to us.
Okay, cool. Thank you. Yeah. What do you think other people would say makes Christianity different from other religions?
I think that most other people would actually not distinguish Christianity a whole lot from other religions. I think they lump all religion into one category.
Yeah, okay. And given what you know about Christianity, what do you say is different from Christianity or other religions?
In my opinion, I think Christianity is different because Jesus, who is the foundation of Christianity, claims to be God. He doesn't hide that fact. Whereas other religions, their leaders don't ever claim to be God. They just lead the people. Whereas Jesus, he knows he's God, and he tells people.
Right. Cool. Thank you.
Yep.
Okay. What would you say most people would say is the difference between Christianity and other religions?
Well,
Food for thought.
that's a good question, Christina Goggin.
Thank you.
I would say specifically in an American context, I don't know if this is, I don't know, like, I guess I'm talking about, like, culturally, how it's perceived, maybe.
Yeah.
Especially in America, Christianity is definitely a religious majority, and there's a mixed bag that comes along with that. So I think that a lot of people have negative connotations of, it's just kind of easy to not that actively live out a Christian life. So definitely a lot of hypocrisy is a really common thing, I think, that people associate with it.
Yeah.
I'd say in comparison with other religions and the way people view it, they see Christianity as kind of that like Bible thumping demeanor or like belligerence that they don't necessarily see with other religions, simply based on quantity, maybe pervasiveness, or just the fact that they interact with Christians more often and possibly receive a negative view because of that.
Yeah.
I don't know.
Yeah, that makes sense. And given what you know about Christianity, what would you say is the difference between Christianity and other religions?
And I don't know. Obviously, I know more about Christianity than I know about other religions, but I think that Christianity has a really interesting and appealing balance between the idea of like love and justice, or grace and justice, and how those two can interact in a way that is inwardly consistent. At least that's what I find appealing about Christianity.
Yeah, yeah.
I agree with that. My heart's in his answer.
Fair enough.
Yeah.
That makes sense.
Yeah. Okay. Sounds good. Thank you. What would you say most people would say is the difference between Christianity and other religions?
I think most people tend to see Christianity as more of a Western religion and the other religions as more Eastern, and so America and Europe would get associated with Christianity.
And is that mostly Christians or non-Christians, or you think?
I'm thinking even non-Christians especially would think that way,
Yeah.
just from even international students that I know and so forth, that
Yeah.
they would be inclined to think that
Yeah.
way.
And given what you know about Christianity, what do you say is the difference between Christianity and other religions?
I would probably emphasize more the theological side of it, and that
Okay.
is that in Christianity, it's what Christ has done for us, where in most of the other religions of the world, there's a strong emphasis on what we do, especially like in Islam. And it's a much more of a works religion, whereas I would say Christianity is, the good news is that we can't do it, but God has done it for us.
Yeah, yeah, good. Thank you.
Yes.
So, what do you think most people would say is the difference between Christianity and other religions?
I think that people probably would say that Christians think that they are better than people who aren't Christians, even though they talk about like being humble. Really, like they are really prideful, and that kind of sets them apart from other religions who may not like come across or seem like quite so proud.
Yeah, yeah. And knowing what you do about Christianity, what would you say is the difference between Christianity and other religions?
Well, Christianity is the only religion or faith that I have ever heard of, at least, in which like our God humbled himself and came and sacrificed his life for our salvation and for our eternity. So there's no other faith that preaches like that God humbled himself and came and like made himself like us or similar to us in any way. So I think that that's kind of what sets us apart.
Yeah, thank you. Okay. What do you think most people would say is the difference between Christianity and other religions?
The difference between Christianity and other religions.
Yeah, so like most people being, if you ask someone on the street, what do you think they would say?
So most Americans?
Probably, just most people is the question, but
Difference,
however you want to take it.
difference between Christianity and most religions. A lot more commonplace.
Okay.
People are much more affiliated and familiar with the ways of Christianity than, say, Muslim or Buddhist. They would have a much more positive inclination towards it, as most of the other religions, especially the Middle Eastern, have such a negative connotation to them. So I think much better.
Okay, cool.
So,
Given what you know about Christianity, what do you think is the difference between Christianity and other religions?
what do I think the difference between Christianity and the other religions is? I think there are a lot of similarities to a lot of other cultures, religions, even some very archaic ones. The Egyptians, Mesopotamians had it, Babylonians had similar tropes of the characters. What do I think the difference is? Difference between Christianity and other religions. Is there a particular difference in mind? I know that's kind of, shouldn't ask the interviewer.
Yeah,
such.
no, I don't think so. I mean, and if you can't think of one, if you think that,
I mean, I don't think
You know
they're,
what I
they're,
mean,
they're
the
just similar. I
same.
don't think that at all.
Yeah.
So what is the difference? That's what I'm trying to find. What is
Yeah.
the difference? It's hard to be so definitive about this without having greater knowledge of other religions
Yeah.
in side-by-side
Mhm.
comparison.
yeah, yeah.
Um, difference, Christianity and other religions. I'm probably going to have a much better answer later. Now that I'll just be sitting and thinking about this.
Well, if you want, we can come back to it later.
Okay, let me think.